Hey y'all, Kevin Hutchison here with Realty Austin, and I am grateful to be a part of Stories Inside the Man Cave, a homegrown podcast just like my own business.
I still admire the fact that one day, I admire the fact that you have your own open, so it highlights your highlights of your life.
Very good. It's exceptional. Exceptional work.
Accessible. And the music, I still feel like I'm in an English pub every time I hear it.
Read.
With a little New Orleans jazz, maybe?
Yeah. Well, you know what they call cigarettes in English pubs. A couple of those for us.
Oh, the F word.
Yeah, that's right. Right.
Idle Conversations with my guy Wills, installment number 5. We're making it. We haven't arrived yet, but we're close. And one of Wills, his entire family, I think, they like this. You know, farmhousedelivery.com. You've got some of the best produce, Texas grown, Texas meats. Use the promo code MANCAVE for 20% off of your first order. First order of business.
Very good.
Wills.
Yes,
what's
sir.
New? What's new with you?
It's a great question. Big basketball fan over here. Really enjoying. Have made every home game.
Ooh, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, a couple of away games. You're starting to feel like the team could be turning. It's going to be a horrific Big 12. I mean, you've already seen it.
Yes.
People losing everybody. Anyway, but we have really gone to a bunch of these games and enjoyed it. It's been fun. A lot of
crowds. I like how the crowds have improved without the students there. That's what's really been, I guess you could say, not surprising. Right. We'll talk about that because we'll hear from your guy Chris Beard here in a little bit. Idle Conversations with Wills is always. I wish we could do more of them, but our schedules are very busy. Wills is a family guy. He has quite a village over there at the Smith household. Yes,
we got way too many people. I don't even know half of them half of the time. It's painful, but they're there.
Oh my God! So. You know, we could talk about I like the word plethora, but I've got to ask, we're going to start out with questions and photo identification. We'll begin with this. What was your first ever sports heartbreaking moment?
That is a great question. And it's following UT in the 80s, there were quite a few.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, one of the great moments was I was probably 9 in the 82 Cotton Bowl. Maybe I was 8. We beat Bama at Bear 14-12. And then 2 years later, losing to Georgia 10-9 in the national championship. That was a heartbreaker. Obviously, like anybody in Dallas, Dwight Clark, heartbreaker. Painful because we were almost this is within a couple of years. We were too young for the 77 when they beat the Broncos, so we just Staubach retired a little too early, and so that's kind of where we were.
And set up Danny White, onboarded Danny White a little early.
That's right.
So that you and I have similar sports heartbreaking moments, and it's kind of fitting you mentioned one of them, which is my number one, and it has to do because it's parallel to the NFL playoffs starting this weekend, wild card round, Cowboys and Niners.
Correct.
You know, the modern era. I like to think we're in the modern era, you and I.
Correct. We're modern.
The 90s, the Cowboys and Niners split.
Yeah.
But it's been a good rivalry, but let's go ahead and reveal one of which involving the Cowboys as we make the transition.
Third and 3. We'll see a pick of some kind on the right
Is it over?
Finally.
I think Everson Walls intercepted at that run time.
A redo, a mulligan. I mean, literally, you don't think Montana, to this day, I still debate this. No way Montana thought he was going to hit Dwight Clark. Or do you think Dwight Clark just made an exceptional play?
I think Clark made an exceptional play. I think Montana was probably throwing it away. He had a little more time and a couple more downs, but it was insane.
I just don't get it, man. I just to see that because he sprinted down the base end line of the end zone.
Yeah.
Everson Walls, that may have kept him out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but I'm sure it's to him that's what kept him out that one play. But it's so vivid. Candlestick Park was a wreck.
Yeah.
It was a terrible place.
Terrible place. Terrible fans too. I mean, really, somebody went up there, was buddies with Eli and followed that first run. Maybe it was it was the second run when he won it. And they had to win in Candlestick and then Green Bay or vice versa to get to the Super Bowl. And he said by far the worst NFL fans, the meanest, nastiest, which you wouldn't think so.
No.
San Francisco, and we're going to go celebrate on Haight-Ashbury. I mean, he said it was gruesome. They wouldn't let it go.
Well, you would think that title would be owned by the guys across the bay.
100%.
Damn, that's horrible. It surprises me, but it doesn't. I think it's all in that DNA of type of sports fans they are over there on the Bay Area. No offense to our compadres who live in the Bay Area.
Correct. Yeah.
There's a guy who recently was on Stories Inside the Man Cave on the other episodes, and it's this guy, and I want to see if you recognize who this is. Do you recognize that guy?
I can't really tell. Lake Highlands Wildcat. I know exactly who it is. The best offensive guard that was 5'7" and 112 pounds got shoulder pads that made him look 6 foot. Phil Dawson.
The Dawson. I love your knowledge of sports. I love your knowledge of being able to recognize from still photography.
Correct.
He had this to say about the catch that you and I just tortured ourselves watching. This is on episode 111. It just dropped. And Phil Dawson, who's now back in Austin, this is crazy. He had a very vivid memory of the catch.
Correct.
Literally had a tear or two.
I already know the catch.
Horrible.
I cried in my dad's lap.
Did you really?
In fact, my first GM with the Browns was Dwight Clark, and I told him that. I told him that. And then little did I know I'd spend 4 years in San Francisco, and the first time we played the Cowboys, I felt so strange because I was a diehard Cowboys fan, and here I am wearing the red and gold. It was tough.
Can you imagine that, Dwight Clark, your first GM?
It's so crazy. You know what's funny? When Phil was kicking for San Francisco and they had a run, this was Harbaugh's first year before he left. They went to the Super Bowl. So Phil's playing, and they're playing at Green Bay. And it was, I think 15 or less. And it was in the playoffs. And I asked Phil, I said, what? You had guys in there without any kind of long sleeves or stuff, and he had a full hockey mask on. He was freezing. He said there were guys who'd put Vaseline on thinking that would whatever, but he had a kick to win the game at the end of the game, and the guy for the Packers jumps off sides, and Phil, peripherally could see it, okay? And it was a real short, field goal to win it, but he debated in that split second whether to kick it quick. Those guys, there's so much nuance to how they do their kicks. If it's a 50-yarder, they're doing stuff, arc, all that stuff that we don't realize. We just think they kick the ball. And so he said, whatever he called it, a quick kick, he decided to do it, but he was afraid in that moment. All these thoughts this is within a second. He had the fear that if he quick kicked it, sometimes he hooks it and he'd miss it and they wouldn't throw the flag, but he saw the offsides. Anyway, he ended up quick kicking it. He made it, and they called the flag, so everything worked out. But he said Harbaugh later, somebody on the sidelines told him it was so cold in that game, Harbaugh had a dip in, and somebody walked up to him and said, "What do you think?" He said, "If the NFL let me, I'd be in the locker room right now because this sumbitch is going to make it. There's no question about it." They had a great relationship. The other funny thing he said about Harbaugh, when Harbaugh was leaving, Phil was leaving, Phil's son, Drew, who was a great quarterback at Vanderbilt, was probably in 8th grade, going to be a freshman. And he walked into his office and said, "Coach, my son wants to play quarterback. Is there any kind of playbook or things you could give him that he could study and learn and get better?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll get it done for you, whatever." And Phil didn't really follow up or whatever. And he kind of thought, well, he probably forgot him. He's a head coach, whatever. Yeah. And he said 2 days later, Harbaugh calls him in and he had a thing this big with notes and edits and stuff would be like,
wow.
This may be, for more college. This is more. He had this whole thing that he'd put together himself. He said, attention to detail was incredible.
That's a detail. He and his brother are both detail oriented.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure they're very thorough. I know it's cliche, but a student of the game. That's how he had a success.
That's right.
As a player. And honestly, people won't say it, but a success as a coach. He's had it.
That's right. And I'll tell you, it's a thing about the NFL too that I don't know that people really, the nuance. Phil, when in one off season, he said, "Do you want to?" My son was probably 3, didn't know anything, but he said, "Just y'all want to come watch? I'm going to do a workout and kick up at the UT practice fields." And I said, "Yeah," and we'd be standing there and he'd look at the wind and the little flags on the deal, and he'd say, "I'm going to put it up here. The wind's going to take it 5 yards this way." And it's like a golfer, a pro golfer.
That's what I was about to say. The elements.
All kinds of things. It's unbelievable.
Phil's a cerebral guy. Yeah. Has a great sense of humor.
Yeah.
But that's, you don't play for 21 years unless you're smart. 100%. You have to have a level of work ethic and intelligence.
That's right.
At every position.
That's right. 100%. And that's how guys play a long time. They talk about the quarterback position, but that Tom Brady could, it's like Romo doing the announcing. He's like, "Look for the tight end to drag across it." And you're like, "What are you?" And of course it happens. It's incredible.
Because he sees it. He saw it so long. And through all the film study, he knows what's going on.
That's exactly right.
There's no doubt. Now, as far as predictions, we got to remove our biased opinions.
Okay.
This is the wild card round, the Cowboys hosting the 49ers at Cowboys Stadium. I honestly think the 49ers are red hot right now. They've really come together. But I don't think the Cowboys have played their best game yet this year, and I think it happens this weekend.
Okay. Well, here's my fear. My fear is Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion, is really, really good.
Yeah. Oh,
he's good. He's so good about getting whatever he can out of the team. Jimmy G, he took to the Super Bowl. But if you watch them run the ball, you're like, it looks like the Packers of '67 where they sweep it out there. It's a power sweep. It's been done since the beginning of football, but those guys block. They scare me in that if they can get a lead and grind clock, we could be in trouble. I do like that their D coordinator, they've got a new one, and I think they could be vulnerable, but it's a scary game. I rooted so hard for them to win because I didn't want to play Arizona again.
No, absolutely not.
I hate that. So I think it's very winnable if the Cowboys can play the game they should play. But I do like Shanahan, and he makes me nervous that he can put together a game plan to win. There's only one of those two teams who could, in my opinion, make it to the Super Bowl, and it's the Cowboys.
They have a Super Bowl, a team built for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
It's just the fact that it's the Cowboys, and they've broken our hearts so many times.
Right.
As fans, or broken the hearts of many Cowboys fans. It's been forever. So expect the unexpected, but I do expect the Cowboys to play the best.
I do too. If you're asking my prediction, I think the Cowboys will win. Although today in the car, I kind of went, oh gosh, I could see them lose. But I think that's just because we've been conditioned. It's so hard.
It is. It's hard to win. Hey, winning is hard.
I'll take the Cowboys as well.
I take the Cowboys by a touchdown, but always remember the winning is hard.
Winning is hard.
And there's no doubt about it.
Thomas
Herman.
Correct.
He made that a very popular viral.
That's right.
Matter. I've got to get, before we move on to your guys who called the Irwin Center home for a few more months. How many fantasy football leagues did you play in this year?
That's a great question. You know what? I can't remember when I stopped, but I play vicariously through my son. He's got like 3 leagues, whatever. So I always keep up with what his teams are doing.
That's probably a better way. I want to step up. I want to grab something real quick because it pertains to this topic that I was not prepared for our installment.
That's good. I'll just keep talking. Sean, I'm kind of ashamed that you couldn't see his rear. It's
beautiful
rear for a man of his ilk and age.
I need to get the holiday LBs. I need to shed those.
No, it looks good. Gives you makes you look a little distinguished.
Oh. You got to walk a certain way.
Right. That, of course, I can tell is a horse's ass.
Yes. See this?
Yes.
I'm teasing you. And what do you see?
Oh my God, that's a head up your ass.
Well, not my ass, but
a horse's ass.
So I finished dead last in my league last year, and this is what I earned.
The douche clip. That's very good. Very good.
How I have earned that title twice.
Correct.
Well, the big trophy, the championship trophy, is headed to this address right here.
That's very impressive. Very impressive.
Regular season 7-7.
That's a lot of parity. A lot of parity in college football
league.
That's right.
Get a good look at this. This is headed to the FedEx.
Good.
To the next address.
Agreed. Just send that over to Brandon Canada's house for no reason. Just say congrats, but
put his name. I'll have to inscribe Canada. Right here.
He just have a big smile and go, "What's this for?" Oh, it's good.
Canada would think it was perhaps a late Christmas gift.
Correct.
Related. So far, you gave a synopsis. Well, actually, let's hear from before we dive into that final conversation. Let's go ahead and hear from Chris Beard because I have some subject. Well, actually, let's talk about this.
Okay.
They had an awful outing in Stillwater.
Correct.
The problem I have was the reaction to not having any players available and doom and gloom and not realizing it takes about 20 games for a team with how many new faces? A dozen?
Yeah.
They're still they think the Fab Five didn't just gel.
Oh, of course not. It's amazing. It really is amazing. the problem with Texas and it's probably not unique to it's probably not unique to Texas, but people in their brain they think a college basketball season is like a college football season, and every loss or possession, every loss is like a loss in football. Every possession is like a touchdown. And if you're going to die at age 27, because it is an up and down game. It's totally different. And on any given night, you could lose, really. Yeah. If you don't play, whatever. The good thing is, and remember this throughout the season, the good thing about the way Beard coaches and what we do is we should be in every game, because we don't just play good defense, and it hadn't been talked about. We play elite defense. We have the number one defense in the country. That's going to keep 100%. You in every game. And all this bullshit about, they used to do it to Barnes too, because Barnes teams played elite defense.
They did.
And they'd be like, he needs an offensive coordinator. Those idiots, they don't know anything about basketball. We run a great motion offense, whatever, and if we can't score, guys get cold on any given day. They're college kids. Yeah. You get elite scores. That the way to win in college basketball, get elite scores, elite shooters, and make them play defense. You're going to win. Name a national championship team. Baylor last year, those guys could shoot. They're elite scorers, but they're absolute dogs on defense.
Intense.
Watch how they played Gonzaga. And now this is an older senior team, and they're up in their chili. Gonzaga couldn't do anything. And yes, they scored on the other end because we did, or Baylor did. I cannot believe I said we, but they scored because they're good offensive scorers. So what we need to do, if we continue to play elite defense all year, you have a game where Andrew Jones scores 22, we're probably going to win. You have a game where Carr scores 22, we're probably going to win. You mix that together, you get enough of those guys ready to go around tournament time, you're going to win. And then one game you're going to have Carr scores 18, Jones scores 15, Ramey scores 18, and you're going to blow people out. That's how you win.
And Timmy
Allen. That's why when all these people freak out, we have a game that we're in, obviously. We're cold. We're on the road. That's going to happen. And guess what? We're undefeated at home. We're probably going to trip up once because in this league, Iowa State was number 11 in the country. They're 1-3 in conference. 1-3 in conference. People can't understand. This is probably the best league maybe in the history of college basketball.
Go look. I challenge everyone to go look. Screw the AP top 25 and the coaches. Go to the net rankings, NET, for everybody. You know what it is, but people watching may not. Net rankings. That's all you need to know. Go watch that. Go look at it week to week and follow it. And what it does, it shows you, it divides your wins, your record by wins and losses against quads. Quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, quad 4. Obviously, the lower the number of quad, those are more quality wins, a victory over better programs, and that'll show you with the Big 12. It's indicative of what Will said. It's almost the entire Big 12 is on the upper half.
Yeah. Of the I'll tell you another thing. Just a side point. If it's not evidence, nobody thinks about it or talks about it. But that Bob Bowlesby is the biggest dud, moron, do-nothing, reactive clown of a commissioner in the history of sports. If this was the SEC, okay, so just change it, and we had commissioner of the SEC. The SEC commissioner was the Big 12 commissioner. He would be doing interviews, talking to reporters about this is historic, what's going on here. This guy has been stealing. Bowlesby has stole money from the Big 12 there's nobody talks about it. It is historically good, and he needs to be. If he was doing the best for his conference, he would be talking in the press about how good it was. Fighting now to whoever's going to be on the bubble in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I don't know who it will be, but let's say it's TCU, who was hot, and they're probably going to be maybe sub 500. Who knows? But let's say they're at 18 wins and 13 losses. Somebody needs to be fighting for them besides Dixon or whoever. And this guy's worried because Texas didn't tell him they're entering the SEC.
You know what you do in that situation? To your point, Bowlesby is a nice guy, but to your point, I've never seen him in public or make it be known in this industry where you've got social media, have all these digital platforms. He should be out at least weekly campaigning for his league and program, and being more visible and vocal.
100%. Quit giving interviews about teams leaving I'll tell you the worst thing, and I'm not a Baylor fan, I'm not a TCU fan, whatever. But the year both of them were incredible, and I think it was, did TCU beat Baylor, or one of them beat the other one in a cold, overtime game, and then the other one they tied for the conference championship.
Yeah, it was 2014,
everybody asked
right?
all this stuff, and who was going to get invited to the playoff? TCU, and of course neither of them made it. And in interviews, they interviewed the commissioner, and Bowlesby said, well, I think either of them could be considered for that 4th spot. And I said to myself, these are one-loss teams. The SEC teams were one-loss teams. If the SEC commissioner would have been saying, when they said, do you think these teams should be in the playoff, which team? I'd be saying, I think they should be 1 and 2. I think these are the best 2 teams in the conference. Yeah. The more you say stuff like that in sports and whatever, it changes people's opinion and the narrative gets changed. And this reactive guy, Bozo, neither of them get in. And so what does he do? We're going to have a championship game. And it's done nothing. The guy's a moron.
He is. The Big 12 is going to improve, but with the addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
But they need a better leader. I tell you who he should take a lesson from. Just listen to this interview after Texas beat Oklahoma.
I like it.
It's very simple, but Beard does this all the time. He doesn't have to. I've never seen a head coach do this. It's very simple, surface level. It's called Marketing 101.
Correct.
The students don't have to be back until a couple weeks later. And so we continue to have those lower level seats in the lower bowl. So encourage anybody that hadn't seen us play yet to come out and check us out. And anybody that wants to come back, please do. We've got really good seats available for the next 2 or 3 home games in the lower bowl. But the message is thank you to the fans who came out. Thank you for impacting the game. Thank you for cheering so hard for our team. And we really appreciate it. The guys were talking about it in the locker room, so they're appreciative too.
Yeah.
Simple.
Here's the deal. Beard is you, he's me, he's our age. He is a fan of sports. He's attended sports. He knows that a crowd impacts a game. He knows to get people to go to the game, you need to ask them. You're not better than people. You need to, when you see people, when you see him out, he's going to say to you, you ought to come to the game. He's going to ask. He wants people to go to these games. And it's not, it's beyond a point of, well, it'd be nice. It's, hey, Sean Clinch, will you go to this game? Will you take 3 buddies? Because every you he talks to going to the games that actually go impacts the game.
100% they do.
That's beyond. No one's done that because they're a head coach and that's kind of a aura of whatever. But guess what? This guy was at McMurray. This guy was at Abilene Christian. This guy was at the South Carolina Warriors semi-pro team. He really is. Andy went to UT, so he gets it all and understands what impacts a college basketball game. Well, that's beyond the control of the players is the crowd, which is true. It does. And the more you can the Texas crowd can be energized and make a difference, that's going to help his team, whatever it is.
And when the Irwin Center is at or within 1,000 of capacity, man, it is. Regardless,
it is.
I know it's cavernous,
Right.
But it is. It can be a special place.
It can. 100%.
We've been there. We've been there for it.
100%.
You know what's special? Talking animals.
They're always
a very hard segue.
It goes straight from beard into talking animals. I love it.
I've been wanting to show you this for 3 weeks.
Okay.
It's on Christmas morning. A talking dog.
Okay.
We're gonna. I've been waiting. Actually, I've been waiting to show you this for a month, and so this is my big moment. A lot of pressure here.
This is your big build up here.
It is, and it's probably going to bring very little product satisfaction.
Correct.
How many times have you heard that?
This will be like when Beard in that conversation talked about him, the crowd, some huge moment, and he's pumping the crowd up. The crowd's going nuts. They come down on defense, and instantly we foul a guy, and the crowd just goes. That's what I kind of feel like this could be. Either you're getting the crowd up, and this is going to be a whammy, swat, we get the ball, we're going to go dunk, or an instant blocking foul.
This may be a charge. At best, it'll be a layup.
Okay.
On offense. Here we go.
I like it.
Let's hype up this Christmas dog. Let's go,
Here
baby.
we go. Get it up.
Let's go, dog.
Christmas dog.
Hi, Bubba. Can you say your name? Luna. You ready? Can you say what's up, bro?
A layup.
Luna. Oh, I think we got fouled and we were falling down. We were afraid of a travel, but we are going to shoot free throws. Luna. Oh, my gosh.
You've seen it all.
Oh.
The content quality is outstanding.
This is, do people have to pay for this podcast? This is exceptional work. Luna.
Hi, Bubba. Can you say your name? Luna.
Luna. That's fantastic. I don't know what to say, but that is top shelf entertainment.
I don't know what's more impressive or disturbing, because his devoted owner probably spent several hours talking to the dog.
No question. Luna.
Hey, watch his lips. This one.
Hi, Bubba. Can you say your name? Luna.
It's so bizarre. Fantastic work.
Oh my God. Here's to everyone who drinks a Diet Pepsi on a Friday.
Correct. Agreed. Big day. Diet Pepsi, my fourth.
Diet Pepsi. What's on the weekend plans before we bounce out of here?
Great question. I've got to go watch my niece. This was thrown at me the last second. My niece playing for the Highland Park Scots girls soccer team. They're playing in Georgetown. Which
is that tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God, because if it's tomorrow, you need a tent.
Yeah, I know.
And heaters.
I think they do play tomorrow, and I ain't going. I'm going to settle in for the old Iowa State, Texas tilt.
The tilt, and it's not at Hilton. It's at
Ames. What's Ames?
Hilton Arena. Yeah.
Hilton. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Tough place to win.
Hard place to win.
And they are in a must-win sitch, if you know what I mean.
Una.
But that'll be fun. Cowboys will fun. It's kind of good. The good thing about Texas basketball, if you can watch it and enjoy it and understand, we're gonna lose a couple of games. Okay, that's just
truth.
It's the truth. Kansas is losing. Baylor lost at home. It's gonna happen. Settle down. Let's enjoy the ride. Enjoy the wins. Tackling is a problem all over.
It's an epidemic.
It's an epidemic. That's right. But enjoy the wins so you can enjoy the games, so you can have an enjoyable spring. We haven't really had an enjoyable spring. Let's enjoy it. Enjoy the success.
And then the preseason number one ranked Texas baseball team.
Texas baseball. See, we can we're chopping wood here, Texas. We'll get back to the fall. We're going to win all the games with yours. Guaranteed.
You saw the post he made.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed the blonde doesn't seem to be as prevalent.
I think he doesn't have his O-ring on. He gets his O-ring on. There you are. Yeah. Get that in front of yours. That's good. Maybe you could become a part-time proctologist. Use that O-ring.
That if that size of light is needed for that size of crevasse, there's an issue.
Well, you could be handling more of a geriatric practice.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
One of these episodes, I could share my proctologist, urologist visit on the third appointment, which a device was required.
Of course.
Let's just say, no, I won't say.
Well, you're an expert in robotics now.
Robotic. I am. And I will say this. No, we do not want to talk during the procedure.
Correct.
I don't want to talk about Texas football while that is occurring.
No.
Will, it's always real. It's been real. It's been fun. We need to try to do this. We pick up another episode soon.
Sure.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. We should do a Cowboy special. Episode 111, Phil Dawson. It's already on the socials.
Yeah.
On our Facebook page, YouTube. You did watch it?
Yeah. I think he's going to do great as long as Hyde Park keeps it being a school.
That whole issue is bizarre.
It's bizarre.
So for those watching across the other side of the country, we're having there's some drama unfolding within the organizational structure of a certain private school in Austin.
That's right.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, play it down the fairway, journalist. But yeah, it's for sure. So there's uncertainty, and that's why. But again, there's no guarantees, and I think that'll if that school stays whatever, he'll do a great job.
Oh, he will. I think he's happy to be back in Austin. He's happy to be around the corner from you.
Yep.
I think he's around the corner from you. Everyone's around the corner from you for some reason.
Agreed. I'm easy to reach.
Hey, we're gonna. I may have James Jeffcoat for episode 112 on the Big Pod. Talk about Cowboys, 49ers. That could be dropped as early as Saturday afternoon.
That's great.
Or evening. I may have to give you the coordinates so you could pop in.
Absolutely. You said James Jeffcoat, correct?
Yeah. The father, the patriarch of the Jeffcoat family.
I like not Jim Jeffcoat.
James, Jim. Is it? Yeah. It's kind of like Richard is Dick.
Richard is Dick. And Luna is Luna. Okay. There you go.
Hi, Bubba. Can you say your name? Luna.
Now we know Luna.
Luna.
And we know Will's He's a fine American. He's a fan of the program, and he's a good dude. He's a wholesome legend of Northwest Hills. Wholesome, he's exaggerating.
Wholesome is aggressive.
That is aggressive. My brother.
All right.
Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your basketball. Hope you get to see soccer in which the temperature is above 50.
Very good.
Brother, have a good weekend.
You too. Talk to you.
Later.